you find people's insecurities, and I know this is a little bit of a bleak view on marketing, but you see this, right? You find where people are insecure, and then you create this product or you create this story, this narrative that says, hey, this insecurity that you have, this is going to solve that. The culture they tend to produce among medical professionals. What do you mean by that?
So, and this is okay. So here's the thing: they're premium scrubs. Their prices are super expensive, and they barely go on sale. So almost like the Apple of scrubs. But the thing is, their market standard is super low. It's literally scrubs, like hospital, like you wear them and you can't, you know. And then all these other companies like Janu and Cherokee and Dickies, they had scrubs, but they knew what the purpose of the scrubs were. So they're like, we're not going to try to make a buck out of this because like it's not worth it because they're literally meant to be thrown away. And so that is the culture that they produce. And so when you sell a luxury product, it makes the user or buyer feel more important and more valued and feel like they meet the standard of the profession or the career. And so what you have is a bunch of people who have this aspiration and they're not there yet, right? I think the primary target are like students of the different specific fields, like so medical students or nursing students, PA students and stuff. Because if you go out, and I just started my clinical rotations, I've been doing them for a year. You don't see a lot of the older people wearing figs. It's always the younger generation, almost millennials basically. And so amongst the millennials, they want to meet this standard. And so the scrubs essentially make them feel like a doctor because you kind of have to have a doctor income to purchase them. And so they're almost getting to that standard. But what it does is like, it alienates everyone because you walk into a room of like healthcare professionals and you literally feel inferior to the people wearing figs. And it's not like inferiority complex I have because I can buy scrubs. And I think any medical professional can buy scrubs because, and specifically figs, because we're all on loans essentially. And so the cost issue is not a problem. And I think that's also a lot of the justification that the people who buy the scrubs actually have. So like you buy them, they're like, oh man, they're super comfortable, super flexible. And I'm thinking, I warned them. I didn't think they were like as comfortable as they're made out to be.
Wow, that's a lot going on. So I didn't know that about scrubs. So scrubs are
Yeah,
meant to be thrown away.
they're meant to be in. So one of the very common misconceptions that people have are the hospitals are clean. They look really clean, but really they're almost like petri dishes of infections because you have the worst of the worst people coming into the hospital, checking in. And so even the bacteria that thrive in a hospital environment is resistant to a lot of the antibiotics that we would use in what you call an outpatient setting, like in a clinic or urgent care or whatever. And so we are aware of that. And so the environment is very dirty. So even before COVID, the standard, I guess, would be to use your scrubs and then you just throw them away in the hospital. And then the hospital's like cleaning department, like, washes them thoroughly and stuff like that. And then reshelves the scrubs for you to use.
So let me make sure I'm understanding what you're painting right now. So you're saying that essentially wearing figs is like a painter wearing a polo.
Yeah. I think that's a good analogy. That's a great analogy.
That's funny, man. Honestly, I've heard about figs from some of my friends that are in the medical profession, medical field, but I didn't know that scrubs have that kind of like they're not something that you like
That's what they're meant to be.
you
Yeah, exactly.
pride. You know what I mean? So, I,
Now, I will say that there are certain environments in healthcare that you don't need that functionality. So the main functionality that you might need that, or the main setting you might need that type of clothing in is the OR, because we're basically being a little bit operating room. Being a little insensitive or invasive. We're being a little invasive in the body, and so that opens up portals into the body for potential infections. And so you need a really sterile environment. And on top of that, I'm sure in the OB obstetrics ward, scrubs are super important because there's a lot of blue bodily fluid exchange, and even in the ER sometimes. But there are environments where you can be a little bit more fashionable with your scrubs
Mhm.
without compromising on sterility. And that's, I think, the niche that they were going for, but then it expanded
Okay.
um, to even the ER. I think ER physicians are probably the ones. If I was to say the biggest specialty that wears fake scrubs, probably ER physicians or
Mhm.
primary care hospitalists and family medicine and pediatrics and stuff.
Yeah. And so one of the things that you see in marketing is you find people's insecurities. And I know this is a little bit of a bleak view on marketing, but you see this, right? You find where people are insecure, and then you create this product or you create this story, this narrative that says, hey, this insecurity that you have, this is going to solve that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you look at Apple, you look at all these companies, they're not explicitly saying like, hey, this is going to solve your insecurity, but the way the ads are portrayed, the
Yeah,
people, the way they look, all of it is like, it's getting you bought into this vision that having this product is going to make me X, Y, Z, right? In this
yeah,
case, it's going to make me look like I'm a real doctor, make me look
yeah,
cool, athletic,
yeah,
also also smart. So
yeah.
um, I think that's interesting. And I honestly, I didn't ever look at it this way. So